Hey, what's up, you guys? This is Sheila Bila coming to you with another review of Tyler Perry's Divorce Sisters, Season 1, Episode 6. I believe this episode is called Heavier Than Words. Um, so please don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe. The more you do like the videos, the more I do go through the algorithm, and more people will start to view my commentary. On the road to 8,000 subscribers. I'm trying to get 100 likes every single video. So if you like up the video, that does help a lot. That pushes me through the algorithm. And then and comment. Let's talk about the episode because I'm really actually liking this show because it's not being redundant just yet. So, I still have good hopes for this show. It's still doing pretty good. So let's go ahead and get into the episode. It does pick up where it left off. Geneva and Pastor Jeff, they're outside and they're arguing. She gets the phone call. Well, the phone rings and it is Myron on the phone. Why have I been calling this boy Marcus? This boy name is Myron. Child. Anyway, I know it didn't sound right, but it is what it is. So Myron, he leaves he's on the phone saying, "Hey babe, did you get in the car yet?" And all that stuff. And so Rashida is just looking like, what? Like, really? Really? Because because in the back of her mind, she's already been trying to peep what's going on. He's so concerned about Pastor Jeff. He's always kind of touching on him, make sure. He's just a hoverer. He hovers over Pastor Jeff, and rightfully so. Rashida is suspicious because if it's not a woman, it's a man. Y'all in this mega church, so of course people are going to be after the pastor. More than the pastor's wife. They want the pastor. So yeah, she has every right to be suspicious. And so when Pastor Jeff is like, Myron, why are you doing this? Like, my wife is right here. This doesn't look good. You sitting over here calling me baby. Like, that's crazy. Like, don't do that. Don't. My wife already looking at me crazy. So he hangs up the phone and Rashida is upset still. So she's just like, I can't deal with this. So she goes and she gets in the house. And Pastor Jeff, he gets into the car and he's just like, oh my God, wait. Before he gets into the car, he immediately calls Myron back. And like, Myron, what are you doing? Like, why did you do that? My wife is like right here. She already looking at me crazy. Like, why did you do that? And Myron is just like, hey, I'm sorry. I just pressed redial. I thought it was Denise. I did not know. And it confuses the viewer because we did know that Preacher Boy was like, I'm going to call you when we get in the car. So he was like, are you in the car yet? So that making me thinking like, okay, Pastor Jeff, what you got going on here? Are you messing with Preacher Boy too? So yeah, you messing with Myron too? So yeah, it makes it look crazy. So, but this is the plot twist of it all because it's like, hey, in actuality, he's not cheating on his wife. In actuality, he doesn't have a boyfriend. He doesn't have a girlfriend. He says he loves his wife, and so much to where he's actually praying for his marriage, which is good. He's praying for his marriage. He's praying for his wife, and he just needs some help. Lord, help me, because I don't want to lose my wife. And then he gets the phone call from Tiffany. And Tiffany apparently has been calling Rashida all night, all day, and Rashida has been answering the phone. So Rashida is trying to understand, like, Tiffany is trying to understand like what's going on with Rashida. So she ends up calling Preacher Boy. And so he kind of gives it to her like, hey, it's been a long night, it's been a lot of back and forths and all this stuff. And so he was saying, Tiffany, can you let me in on what's going on? Can you let me in? And so, and in return, Tiffany is like, what happened? So he gives the whole spiel about they got into it and he left her in the car and he didn't open up the door. And she's like, uh-oh, so you didn't open up the door? And he was like, no, what's the big deal about me not opening up the door? And Tiffany just says, hey, well, it looks like y'all about to get a divorce because she's going to leave you because you didn't open up the door. Two things that Rashida said that she wanted, I guess, in her marriage. One was, what was it? One to be nice, one to open. I know one of them was to open up the door. And I don't remember what the first one was, but I know that second one was to always open up the door. And if the man wouldn't open up the door for her, then it's an automatic no. Why is it such a big deal? Okay, in Tyler Perry fashion. And I can say in almost every movie or every TV show, somebody had an incident in college to where somebody got raped and it's been a big deal, right? And so apparently Pastor Jeff didn't know what happened to her when she was back in college. So only people that knew was Geneva and Tiffany. And so what happened was she was in college. She was with a boyfriend. A boyfriend let some other boys in. And, it was a whole graping going on. And she was trying to get out the door. She was trying to get out the door, but he was holding the door. The boyfriend was holding the door to where she couldn't get out. And it made Preacher Boy feel really sad. He was like, oh my God. Because at first he was saying he don't want to hear it. But you asked this woman to tell you what happened over and over again. Then when she tried to tell you what happened, you don't want to hear it. But you're going to have to hear it because this is a trigger for her. You over here, didn't open up the door. But this reminds me though, remember when Tyler Perry was on Oprah Winfrey and he said his trigger was locking the door or something like that? So I think Tyler Perry just kind of puts in a lot of his personal trauma into these movies and TV shows as well, which is fine. He lives out through his writings, which is fine. All right. So Tiffany tells Pastor Jeff, you need to go in there. Like, you need to go in there. You need to apologize. Like, you need to do whatever you need to do. Because if you don't, she gonna leave you. She is. And that's what it is. All right. So he takes her advice and he goes in. Because mind you, Pastor Jeff was going to get ready to go to the hospital, go see that burned up white lady. But he was like, no, I'm finna go in here and check on my wife. So he goes in, he in a doghouse. And she's in there, she's looking at herself and she's just like, oh my God, traumatized and everything. And he goes in and he apologized. He said he's sorry, he loves her. And then he lets his wall down. And he says the reason why he has been acting the way that he's acting is because he wants this new church so bad. And he is actually feeling insecure in comparison with his wife. So he says his wife has a better book deal than he has. People just gravitates to his wife. He has to do 3 services to which the wife is having to preach one of the services, and she's good at it. And he says that he doesn't feel that he is adequate enough. He doesn't feel like he's the man enough to take care of his family. His wife shouldn't have to work hard. He shouldn't have to work this hard. That's why he's wanted this big church, so he don't have to have all these services. And as they elevate, his wife makes it's easy. Like, it's easy for his wife, but it's harder for him. It's easy for people to gravitate to his wife, but it's harder for him. So it's almost like he's slick. I don't want to say jealous, envious. It's like his ego is being kind of struck in a little bit. And so, she's just like, why are you telling me this now? Like, why are you telling me this? And he's just like, look, I wanted to let you know. You know what I'm saying? He just wants to be transparent and let her know. And he just wants to reassure her that, like, I love you, and he wants this marriage. Like, he wants this marriage. And she was just like, look, I need some time. I need some space. He says, please tell me you're not going to leave me. And she said, where am I going to go? Where I'm going, so she says she's going to be here when he gets back. Okay. So, oh yeah. Did I click these pictures? I guess not. All right. So now, after she takes her shower and all that stuff, she ends up calling Geneva on the phone. Geneva is trailing the yoga lady, right? So she's trailing the yoga lady, trying to figure out what the yoga lady is doing with her husband. The whole deal is, Rashida tells Geneva, quit following the lady. The only reason why you're following this lady is because you're trying to dig up dirt on this lady and your husband to give you a reason to talk to Javon. And Rashida actually asked Geneva, do you think that Javon actually likes Tiffany? Geneva says, no, he's just doing it to make her jealous. She was like, are you sure you don't like her? He don't like her because he kind of looked like it's something different to her. But she was like, no, girl, or whatever. So she just tells Geneva, quit following a girl and go home because you done had on the same clothes from last night and you up here stalking people. Please go. Take a bath. All right. So, when a man in the doghouse, child, they don't leave. Their whole day is disrupted because he can't even leave the house. He is up under Rashida's butt. You hear me? So she's sitting down and she's just thinking, right? He comes in. She's like, dang, I thought you was gone. He was like, no, I'm not going, He was like, I'm not going, I wanted to be here with you and all this other stuff. So he's laying it on thick. And so now they get to talking. Like, what's going on with you and Myron, like, do you like him? He was like, no, I don't like that man. Like, are you into him? No, I'm not into him or whatever. And he was like, right hand on his kids. He don't like men. He ain't never been like that or whatever. And then they said about, you know what? I'm probably mixing up the scenes, but it's okay. We're going to talk about it. And they talk about him finding women attractive. Yeah, I found women attractive. I found Sister Bernita, Sister Wilson, Sister Johnson, all these people, you know, whatever. He said, but none of them compares to her. And he said when they were at the gala, she was the most beautifulest woman, all this other stuff. She was like, hold on now, you know you really laying this on thick now. What's going on? What are you hiding from me? Like, what is really going on? Like, what do you know? And so he was saying, no, like, I just want to let you know, how I feel about you and all this other stuff. And she said, who you been talking to? Who you been talking to? Because he keeps saying, I will always open up the door. I will never, ever, you know what I'm saying, leave you out. I will open up the door to the car. I will open up the door to the house. I will open up the door to my heart. I will open up the door to the refrigerator. I will open up the door to the cabinet chair. I will open up the door to the cupboard. Whatever door you need open, I will open it for you. So you don't even have to worry about another door being closed, because I'm going to open it. Please. And so she was like, who you been talking to? Who? She said, because I know Bridget don't know. And she said, I know you ain't finna talk to Naomi because you don't even like her. He said, I do like her. Do you? Anyway. It ain't Geneva, because I just got off the phone with her. Tiffany. He said, well, I didn't talk to Tiffany yesterday. Oh, you didn't talk to her yesterday, but you talked to her today. And then he said, yeah, but she promised me that not to bring it up. Please don't call her. Please, whatever, right? And so she was just like, I didn't want her to tell you because I don't want you to feel pity. I don't want you to pity me. I don't want you to do this. I don't want you to feel like you have to go above and beyond now because you feel sorry for me. I just want you to genuinely love me regardless. Like, regardless of whatever it is, I want you to hear me regardless of what I've been through in my past. That's what I want from you. And so he was like, look, no, I don't. I don't feel pity. I love you. I everything. And then he says, this is what happened. He said, after everything happened, he got into the car and he prayed. He was like, I prayed and I asked God, I prayed for you and I asked God to give me a sign, right? And Tiffany calls. And that's when she tells me. And he said, I'm really glad that she told me because now I understand. Her telling me this shows me how much of a butthole I have been to you, not recognizing your feelings. You know what I'm saying? Not being open with you, putting you on the back burner. Now I'm putting all that stuff in there, but that's what he's been doing to her. You know what I'm saying? So really that conversation helped him to love her differently and better, giving her the things that she was missing between them. And he was just like, she was just, taken aback and she crying or whatever. And he said, look, I love you. He said, I want you to ride to church with me today. I want to do what we used to do. You know what I'm saying? I remember when we first got together, we were both on fire for the Lord. He said he want that old thing back. Like, he hugged her. And at first she didn't embrace it because she was kind of looking up. And then she just kind of closed her eyes and she just kind of let go. And I was just like, thank you, because I really wanted this to be good. I know this is Divorced Sisters, but I do want to see some healthy relationships. Everybody can have a bad relationship. I want to see something healthy. And sometimes it does take a situation of not opening up a door to get to this moment. So I'm happy. I'm actually good with this. I really am. I'm glad that they both got a chance. She actually got a chance to see where he was coming from. And he really told her, his insecurities, and which is good. Good. So back at the church, Bridget is there, and Calvin, he's saying he pressing charges. He pressing charges on young boy. And he looking for him. The police is after him. They done went by the house. He ain't there. Where is he? He at the mama house. Where the mama live? I don't know. What side of town she live on? I don't know. So yeah, he looking for him. Whatever. Bridget sees the preacher man, and Rashida come in together, and they look happy, like for the first time in forever. Bridget peeps it. She go in there. She said, what's going on with y'all? Y'all came to church together? You know what I'm saying? Like, what y'all got going on? And she said, it was a hard night. She was like, oh, a hard night? No, it was a hard night and it was a better morning. Like, for real. Tell me about it. She don't want to tell Bridget nothing. Okay, whatever. So then they end up talking about the whole incident that happened with Bridget and Young Boy and Calvin, how the police being called and all this other stuff. Whoop, 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 whoop. All right. Geneva is getting in her car. Apparently, Geneva don't see that Tiffany is over there looking at her. Tiffany calls Geneva. Geneva hangs up the phone. She said, oh, that's what you've been doing? You've been blocking my calls? That's what you've been doing? Oh, I didn't see you there. Of course you didn't see me there because you too busy looking at the phone, blocking it. And so what's going on? Like, what is this? What is this back and forth? Like, why are we doing this? And so it's almost like Tiffany is peeping the fact that Geneva don't want Javon and her to date. It's like she's peeping it because she says, yeah, I was on the phone with Javon. He talked to me the whole way up here. And like, what they got to do in it? And she's like, oh, okay. Is there something you need to tell me? No, there's nothing I need to tell you. So why are you here? She says she's showing this house for a client. She don't know who the client is. She's just showing the house. Gonna find out the client is none other than Javon. Javon comes up with flowers. Looks like the same flowers that he would give Geneva. Geneva over here getting jealous. And they over here talking about having dinner and all this other stuff, right? Okay, cool. Geneva don't want to hear it. She walks out. Geneva, you are so messy. And you can tell Geneva was like, he's mine. You may have had him once, but I got him all the time type of situation. Child. Anyway, so Geneva leaves. They over here talking about this house. And then Javon talking about he want to kiss on Tiffany. I was like, can y'all? She said, look, I'm professional. We can do that. We can do that later after dinner or whatever. However it go. She said, I'm easy, but I ain't that easy. So then they end up going to look into the house. But finds out where the yoga lady is. So she goes in there. The yoga lady said, look, my next session is in 2 hours. Like, she said, oh, no, it's fine. I'm here. Aren't you, Maddie's mom? Yeah. I'm Maddie. I'm what's that girl name? What, her little daughter. What's her daughter name? Alika, whatever. Our daughters are friends, right? So they friends. And she's like, oh, okay, I do know you. I've seen you, picked her up a couple times. Normally the daddy do it. So I'm like, oh, okay. Well, Geneva says she wants to do the kids on a play date. Anika? That's her name, Anika. Yeah. Her and Anika, she wants Anika and Madison to do a play date, right? And she was like, okay, so can we exchange numbers? Yeah. And then Geneva throws out, so does my husband have your phone number? Oh, no, he doesn't have it. Child, that white lady over there looking confused. And she looking like, I'm trying to figure out what's going on right now. Because I don't know. It's almost like, I don't know if the white lady trying to hide something or if she's genuinely confused. Like, okay. But she played it off really well. Yeah, give me your number, girl. Yeah, we go hook up, whatever, whoop de whoop. So while they exchanged numbers, Geneva automatically knew that yoga lady was gonna make a phone call. So she leaves her phone in the building. In the building, and she walks out. Why they got this dramatic scene of Geneva smoking these cigarettes, looking out the car window, dressed like a woman in red? Like, it's just so dramatic, right? Anyway, and she almost to me looked like Fatima on Sisters with her outfit and stuff on. And did y'all notice? Am I the only one that heard Tyler Perry in the background saying, okay, y'all get ready. We're about to, he said something like cut the scene, action. Or something. Did y'all hear Tyler Perry say that? Yeah, they didn't cut that out because I heard it. Anyway, so Geneva goes back into the building and she says, oh, I'm sorry, I left my phone. So she gets the phone, she goes back into the car, and then she plays it. And she hears yoga lady saying, I just got the strangest, visitor today. I'll talk about it with you later. I don't want to talk about it now. I'll talk about it with you later. And I love you. And so automatically Geneva thinks that she's talking to her husband. But I'm like, girl, you don't know for sure who she's talking to because you never heard anybody say anything back. It's okay. And also the lady looked like she's married. She had looked like she had a little ring on. So we don't know. All right. So Geneva comes in, right? And she's talking to Rashida. They having this whole conversation about Geneva and Javon and Tiffany. And Geneva is saying that she's bored. She is bored with William. She's bored and she needs some excitement. And she says, and Mind you, Javon said that William is the one that told him to move next door because they have a house vacant. Now I'm kind of thinking, I wonder, does William know that his wife had an affair with Javon and he's setting all this stuff up? I mean, I can see that because William invited him to come to the gala. William invited him to ride with them. William invited them. They're just a bunch of invites. Like, I invite you to live next door with me. I don't know if William is just so happy-go-lucky, gullible type of person, or is he's trying to set something up. I don't know, but it'll be something if he did. So anyway, Geneva is talking to Rashida. They're talking about the whole situation. They're talking about Javon and how if Tiffany ever sleeps with Javon, it's going to be a wrap, because I guess he is such a good lover that it's the best she's ever had, the biggest child, all this other stuff. And Rashida's just looking at her like, girl, you have a good thing. You have a good man. You over here trying so hard to find something on your now husband where you're going to mess up one of the best things that ever happened in your life. Stop playing with fire, girl. You gonna get burned. Warning comes before destruction. And she's trying to tell you, stop it. Stop it. Just because. And then she says the game that Javon is playing is turning her on. I'm like, girl, you asking to be burned. You are asking. You asking to look like that white lady down there at that hospital. That's what you asking to look like, a burn victim. You are. So anyway, they get off of that. And Bridget, because, okay, they do this whole book deal. They go in there to see Bridget. Bridget gets this phone call, well, a text message talking about, you know, young boy gonna unalive himself. So she's frantic, crying, frantic, calling. Young boy not answering the phone. They get to the point to where they go into the pastor's office. They bust in there and they finally get young boy on the phone. I don't mean no harm. I'm not trying to be not empathetic to this scene, but he was not acting good to me. It was not believable. I'm sorry, it wasn't. I mean, he said, don't nobody love him. He ain't got nobody. His mama don't want him. His daddy don't know him. You know what I'm saying? And Bridget kicked him out. He ain't got nowhere to go. He having a hard life. He 30 years old and all this other stuff. Then the pastor get on the phone, talking about, let me tell you about my life. He was in foster care and then all this other stuff at 18 years old. And he had to figure it out. He ain't had nobody, no mama, no daddy. You know, just the whole rundown. While the boy, I'm just going to end it all. I'm going to end it all. You know, all this other stuff. And then all of a sudden, you hear this boom. And Bridget is just like, oh my God. And it goes off. So they have a whole, you know, thing up saying, like, if you are not alone, call the hotline number and all that stuff. But yeah, I thought that Naomi wasn't in the scene. Everybody was apparently trying to call Naomi and Naomi wasn't picking up. Overall, I thought the episode was really, really good. I just didn't like young boy's acting at the end. If y'all liked it, let me know. I didn't get nothing from it. It's just, anyway. But other than that, I'm glad we got some type of understanding with this whole pastor and wife situation. So yeah, this is Sheila. Be the like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what y'all think about this episode. Bye.